I have just not enough time. I also get distracted. I still had other things I would have liked to work on. I feel like I am all over the place.
How does it feel?
Chaotic.
In this coaching session, we meet Chris, a German living in Sweden. He has a lot that he needs and wants to do, but he's struggling to focus. He believes his problem is his schedule, his routine, but as we talked, he uncovers something unexpected, something deeper. Let's find out what that is.
What would you like to focus on today?
I think a good thing would be how to get a better routine in daily life with all the important tasks that we usually have to do.
A better routine in your daily life. So in the next 30, 45 minutes, what would success look like for you at the end of this session?
Maybe a proper schedule, how to start my day, and start my day, how the days should look like, kind of.
A proper schedule to start your day. And what makes this important for you?
I feel like I am all over the place sometimes with whatever is going on in life. And there's one thing coming up, then there's just a notification on the phone, text message, and I forget about everything else. So, yeah, lots of things, they just, yeah.
There's a lot of things and distractions that are keeping you away from your focus on daily life. It sounds like I'm just seeing like this and this and this and this like all over the place.
Exactly.
And because you are all over the place, what is this preventing you from doing or being?
With certain things. Yeah, it could be video editing, because there are still lots of videos to do, to edit, that just, I forgot about, because things have been I had so many other things to do, but also everything else, like there's always something coming up.
Yeah. So video editing, it sounds like it's a priority for you right now.
Not really. Actually, no.
Well, then
it's just an example.
It's an example. I'm curious about when it comes to priority. How sure are you what your top priorities are right now?
One priority was the cabin. I wanted to fix up the cabin, make it ready for the summer season. This now was kind of not of importance, because there was another guy coming who wants to rent it now, even though I wanted to continue working on that. So now I can focus on other things, but I don't really I actually don't really have something I need to focus on. It's my plan of doing my video projects for July. And now we don't have, like, I think tomorrow is the 1st of June, right? And then I have a month left to prepare myself and plan things a little bit, kind of. Maybe reaching out to people that that have properties that I want to work on.
You had this priority in the cabin, and something happened which changed your plans. And so when it comes to, that was a top priority.
At this point, yes.
It no longer is?
It unfortunately is not, no.
What about the other priorities?
Well, what else is there actually? Yeah, actually there were different video ideas that I wanted to test, work on, but also but also that I wanted to organize, for example, this here, to have this all sorted out and tidied up, to then have I want to have a better overview. I want to find things and not like just pulling it out of a pile of fishing rods or whatever. But for that too, I would have to focus on it and not end up like reading messages and writing with whoever back and forth.
It sounds like right now you have like messages back and forth, you have some editing here, some organization, and that's causing you to feel, how does it feel?
Yeah, chaotic. So, not really being able to focus on something. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, all over the place.
Yeah, it's like kind of this here, this here, this here, and it's causing you to feel chaotic. And as a result of this feeling of chaos, it's preventing you from focusing on achieving your priorities and your goals.
So, I don't actually know. Like right now, I cannot, because of different reasons, I cannot do these video projects that I plan on doing for, like, let's say July. I probably could even do it now if I find a place nearby, which is like suitable for a weekend project. But yeah.
Yeah. At the beginning, you said video editing wasn't a priority, and then you said it's one of the things that you were focused on. So I'm curious, like going back to the question of what are the I guess let me ask you on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being you're very sure what your priorities are, 1 being I have no idea what my priorities are. What number would you give yourself right now?
I know exactly what I mean, what I want to prioritize on if I'm speaking about the video part for July. But this doesn't change like the month that is in between, or like I cannot work on that stuff right now. But there's certain things I can prepare for that.
Yeah, so July, it's pretty certain. It sounds like you know what your priorities are, but it sounds like now and then in June, you're not sure what the priorities are.
I might don't need them. I don't know. I just know.
Yeah, so what number would you give you right now for June? It sounds like between 1 and 10, 10 being I'm very sure of my priorities.
For June, like, I don't know, 5.
5. And also, I'm curious, like, how important is it for you to figure out your priorities for June?
Not too important, actually. I mean, like, yeah, in the end, doesn't really matter what exactly I'm doing then. The thing is just that I would like to have a better routine in daily life, that I could say there's like time from 8 to 10 where I do my household, or where I do sports now that I am free to do a little something. But every time I'm planning stuff like that, something else comes in the way and I cannot do stuff like that. Like, it wasn't planned that I had the 2 workaware girls who brought my system.
Yeah, and it's understandable. You had all these goals and plans, and then other plans came in your way, and so, but it also sounds like you adapted to those plans as well. But
Sure.
it's now more about figuring out what the new priorities are. So when it comes to having a routine, like what does that look like for you? Having a routine, a stable routine.
Well, knowing what comes next, what you have to do next, like, let's say during the next hour or like certain times of the day, I guess. That this is kind of planned as well, I guess. I just understood like the last day it actually would be good for me. Otherwise I end up eating every now and then a little whatever, which is not good.
I hear plan several times, like things need to be planned.
I just believe it would be beneficial. Because once there is a plan, like when I write down stuff, for example, this does help. But I also know that even though I do write down a lot of things, that I can forget about these notes
Yeah.
that are like flying around my house all over. And then it is out of my head. That's good. I don't need to think about that because it's written down somewhere. But I still end up forgetting. I end up forgetting to do it.
And I'm curious, in the past, you've been able to get a lot of things done. Was there a point in time where you felt like things were stable and you were planned and you felt not so chaotic?
Well, yeah, maybe, but like that wasn't very often the case.
And how did that work for you?
Like what it was like, or I think, for example, when we had bought properties and fixed them up, made them look nice again, there was always a certain organization, also a schedule behind that everything lines up. But then I was also living together with Nicole, and there were things I did not have to think about. This was like the part of, you do that, the one does this, the other does that.
And because you had someone else to focus on, sounds like the structure and the planning, and you were able to focus on other
No,
things?
not the planning. No, just certain things. Like I didn't have to think about preparing food or like what else? I don't know. Like household, of course.
But back then, everything felt more structured and planned and less chaotic.
Also, at a certain time, it was, yes. And of course, I was used to that. I have been in a relationship half my life, but yeah.
And it sounds like there's a piece of your life where you would like it to be more structured and routine because you don't have this other person to do these things for you.
I have just not enough time for everything together.
And it also...
And I also get distracted in between, which is something else.
Yeah. You want to be more focused and have more routine, but yet you know you have distractions in the way that prevent you from, I guess, getting the important things done. That's what you know about yourself.
Exactly.
But it's also important that you have routine because you want to be able to get things done more effectively. So was there a time where you were alone where you did feel planned out and it felt calm and less chaotic?
I don't think so.
Yeah. And if we were to imagine, because right now it is you, what would that look like if you were in this future state? More calm, less chaotic, more routine. Like, what would that look like?
Having this YouTube thing going and just doing that, I would like to plan my weeks, my days ahead, and having a proper schedule of when I am where and when I am working on what. But yeah, recent example is that the whole workaway thing brought me actually more, also it's not, I cannot use that word broad in English. It made me end up being distracted and like not focused even though I did have a lot of other things to do. They ended up just staying behind, like piling up or whatever. Yeah, because as soon as there is someone else around, I end up just focusing on whatever is like happening right now, and not being able to focus on other things, on my priorities.
Yeah. So because of these workawares that came in, they distracted you from your focus. And what did you learn from that experience?
I learned that I am not capable of handling both, of like having someone helping me with certain things and maybe even letting him do certain things and just focusing on other stuff. That is something I can't, obviously. Yeah.
And it sounds like these distractions were not so beneficial.
We did get lots of things done, but I still had other things I would have liked to work on during that time too. Yeah.
What would you do differently if these workawares sent you the same message today, right now?
Now thinking of like planning, scheduling everything, I might would sit down first and think about what is important for me, to then put it down on paper and having this list nearby so I can look things up in between and trying to make both work, because I still would like to help other people if they need help, need a place to stay, and I could use their help. Mm.
So it sounds like you are a very giving person that likes to help others, but what you would do differently is you would have a list next to you, a physical list where you can actually plan out and see things and be more organized and structured. You would still accept these people, but be more planned and organized.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Mm.
And so for the month of June, what do you need in order for you to be more organized and planned out?
I don't know. I mean, I first need to know what I actually have to do, I think.
Sounds like that is the most important thing. You first need to figure out what you need to do in order for you to set up a routine to get things done.
Hmm. Yeah, what I need to know what things I want. I have to focus on what are important things.
And going back to the important things, for the month of June, how sure are you of what's the most important things you want to do in June?
I would say preparing everything for July. Let's say getting all my machines checked, everything is working, having spare parts, maybe even maybe buying something else that is needed for all the stuff. This is very important. Yeah.
So planning out what needs to happen in order to make July a success.
Exactly.
It's about preparing in June because there will be a lot of preparation.
Yeah. I started saying, I started with thinking about doing that in July from like January on, and I see that as my the one chance I get for this year, because I'm full-time working and it's the only months that I have several weeks off where I can work on other projects without having to think about whatnot. And then I am also free. I don't have my daughter that time during that month because she is on holidays with her mother. Yes.
Yeah, July is going to be a very important but also exciting month for you.
Very much.
And what needs to happen in the next 30 days is a lot of planning to get prepared for July.
Planning, but also preparing. Yeah.
Okay. And so that sounds like it's going to be one of the biggest priorities for you in June, preparing and planning for July.
It is. Everything else is of less importance.
Yeah. How do you feel about that plan and or priority for June?
Knowing that is very good, and also, yeah, having talked about it made me realize that this is very important for me and I need to do that. Otherwise, July could also end up being chaotic, which I would regret afterwards, that it again ended up something different than I was imagining it.
So you don't want to have any regrets when July happens.
I want to make the most use of this month.
And so the next 30 days, it's really about preparing and planning so you won't have any regrets. And July goes well. So going back to like your original question, building more of a routine, and then we kind of segue to actually what are the actual priorities? What have you learned so far in the past 20 minutes?
That I have to find out what is most important for me, and yeah, taking the time to think about it, or like talking with someone actually, helps me a lot to find out what is important. Yeah.
And when it comes to June, we also talked about priorities. Like, how sure are you of what the most important priority is now in June?
I am, very sure about that. This is the one thing I need to focus on, and all the other smaller things I will do. I can do whenever everything else is done, or yeah, I would say.
So, well, it's great to hear that you have more clarity on what is most important. It sounds like July is going to be really important and also fun too. But you really need to put time into preparing and planning for July, which is coming up in a month.
Yeah.
And you don't need to know the detailed answer, but I'm curious, like, what are you going to do next now knowing this?
I will write down, or like start a list where I can write down things that are important to prepare, to plan for July, so that I in the end have a summary of everything that is needed to be prepared, and then I can slowly hook off things as I get to do them, like ordering parts, repairing machines, finding properties, contacting people. For example, while I'm not here or somewhere else working, can be that I'm gone for a week. I have to find someone looking after the place here. Also, I mean, who could cut the grass here, for example.
Well, sounds like a lot, but it also sounds like you have time, and the next step for you is to take some time to write this down on a list of the things that you need to do to prepare and to plan for July to be a success.
Right.
Is that something that I can help out with today with you?
I think so. I would love that.
Okay.
Yes, sure. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Sounds like a plan then.
Yes, it does.
Chris came into the session thinking he had a focus problem, but his real problem was actually prioritization. He felt distracted, chaotic, because he had too many things on his plate that all seemed important. But the real breakthrough came when he took a step back and answered the question, what are my biggest priorities? And once he figured out what his biggest priority was, the next step became a lot more clear, and he was able to start planning. Now, often we believe the problem is X, but in reality, the problem is Y. And once we figure out the real problem, that next step becomes a lot more clear and more easy. Now, did this coaching session conversation resonate with you? And what are your biggest takeaways? Leave them in the comments below, and I hope you take care. Bye bye now.